Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It, and Jackie's coughing about it.
Literally, I was fine, and then the minute it starts recording, I'm coughing. That almost seemed like I did that on purpose.
That would be like really weird if you did that on purpose.
That would be like a weird, like, okay, are you desperate for attention or what's up?
Pick me, girl.
Yeah.
You haven't called me a pick me girl in a little bit. And we also haven't, speaking of that, we haven't talked about Taylor Swift in like 3 episodes.
Yeah, there's really no updates on her, though. Although, did you see that Jason Kelce retired?
What?
Yeah, that was like already announced. Not Travis Kelce.
Oh, his brother.
But it was like really heartfelt videos you should watch.
Okay. Probably won't, but.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to another week of Let's Laugh About It.
Welcome back. We have a fun agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to tell you, speaking of Taylor Swift, the house that I'm closing on, which we'll do like a more celebratory thing on the podcast, like when actually closing. But yeah. It's really close to a musical instrument museum, and I think there's a section in there for Taylor Swift.
Oh, like a whole exhibit?
Mm-hmm. I'll have to go and then report back, but
yeah, that's cool. I would like to go.
And also, there's Avril Lavigne is in it, and I was telling my boyfriend about it, and he goes, "Why would Avril Lavigne be in it?" And I was like,
"So you know that like broke your heart?"
It broke my heart. I don't know why
he. Tour right now?
Huh?
Isn't she on tour right now?
Yeah, and I need to get tickets to, or I don't know if she's on tour right now, but she definitely announced a tour, and I didn't get tickets yet, which is unlike me.
Yeah, I remember you like posting a story about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anyways, shall we get to our agenda?
Oh yeah, well, a part of our agenda is life updates. What have you been up to? Me and Zoe aren't in the same place.
Oh yeah, we actually need to update each other. What have you been up to first?
Nothing, just really, I probably like shouldn't say this on a podcast that like anybody can listen to, but really catching up on my full-time jobs work. So I've been like really getting ahead on that shit. I finally like finished a report today that I should have turned in 3 weeks ago. So that felt good. Get that off my shoulders. What else have I been doing? Oh, me and Zoe are trying to find people to maybe, our lease ends at the end of this month, but like maybe so that we can get a little pro rate on rent, be out of our lease a tad bit early. So I got some tours for that. So I need to like, I want people to walk in here and be like, I want to move in next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I need this place to be, I mean, it is clean, but.
Yeah, we had the craziest confusion about like when our lease ends.
Yeah. I know, like it turns out that we're actually getting out of it early, but like me and Zoe were kind of thinking that March 31st would be like us staying longer than we needed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we moved in February, technically.
Yeah.
And it felt like earlier than that because we wanted to move in January and it like wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So
we had this weird thing in our lease that
we had a weird thing in our lease and a really weird neighbor, and it was just like a weird situation, and we were all confused, and I didn't realize.
Swear I don't remember. It doesn't matter, but there's this thing that apparently me and Zoe signed. I swear to fucking God, I do not remember signing it, but we did because our landlord's very, very nice. Like technically she's letting us out of the lease early for no hit on us, but I'm still like, did we do that?
Yeah, it's either she's, we just completely forgot, or she's really, really good at gaslighting us.
Yeah, because I will say I can't find it in my records anywhere. I can't. I've looked. I can't find it.
And Jackie keeps her records.
Yeah, like they might be dispersed everywhere, but I have them.
Mm-hmm. Except this one.
Except for this one. And mixed with the fact that neither of us have a memory of signing this, I'm like, this seems weird.
So weird.
It's fine. We're getting biters. Apparently, I'll have some people touring this week. But I'm having a few trolls on that renters page. Like people,
really?
Yeah, like people commented. I like deleted the post and reposted it.
Explain the renters page first, because people.
We have this renters page for like the community we live in, and you like can post something you have for sale, whatever. And we live in like an expensive neighborhood. And but like our place is a little bit pricier compared to other ones. It's a give and a take. Like ours is more updated than ones that I see. Like I'll see ones that are less updated, but they have like in unit, and it'll be a little bit cheaper. It's like there's all handoffs, whatever. But I've been getting a few trolls commenting on the posts I listed on there of our apartment, commenting like, well, because I made like a repost being like new post reposting because like the landlord just lowered the price, and I've had people comment being like clown emojis, and then this is the post with the lowered price, and I'm like, okay, I know, but like that's not my fault. Can you like get out of here? I'm trying to get somebody to rent it. So I keep like hiding the comments because you can't delete them, but you can like hide them. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Well, we were like thinking about getting out, or we were, so when I accepted the position for the job that I'm at now at Audion, I needed to move to Arizona, but we were in this lease.
mhm.
And even just like talking around trying to get people to rent at the price we were at was like ridiculous. Like nobody wanted at that price, and then our landlord raised it like a couple $100s.
I know, even when Zoe like got the job, but then she like wasn't sure when she'd move or whatever, I had mentioned it to the lease to somebody that one of Brian's friends like
Mm-hmm.
knew, because she wanted to stay in San Diego a little longer. And I was like, I could bring it up to my roommate that like you could go into the room, I guess, if you like wanted to. And I told her the price, and she was like I could get a room for like $900. And I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit hard for us to like,
Yeah.
um, but good thing she's letting us out of the.
I know. I'm trying to think of it positively like that. Like, I'm like, I guess technically we could, if she wanted to be like harsh, I guess we technically signed till April 30th. So I guess we are getting out of it early. But it's just like a weird idea for us to wrap our heads around, because like we thought March 31st was like, you know what I mean? Not getting out of it early. But I would text Zoe today and I was like, our lease, like if we have to, like we are advertising it for an April 1st or earlier move in. So like hope we should be able to actually, like, one of these people bite, we should be able to end our lease, like I'm thinking like a week before April 1st, because she'll need to paint and clean. Like we can't have our lease go till March 31st and then have somebody move in April 1st. That doesn't make sense.
I did get good news today. So, I with the house closing on the house, I got the closing date moved up, but then also got it appraised, and it appraised for like 25K more than I bought it for, which is like
Oh,
unheard
sweet.
of. Yeah,
Sweet. That is unheard of. I'll tell my dad that because he used to do appraising work. And
tell your he'll listen to this.
he probably will.
Hey, Mr. Miller.
Mr. Miller, hey dad. Well, yeah, he'll think that's interesting. He'll think that's cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting that because everyone like sweats during the appraisal, because if it appraises lower, then you're like you're messed, like your mortgage is all messed up.
Yeah, that's exciting. Wait,
Yeah.
so the day that you close, can you literally
I
go
could,
right in?
yeah, I could move in, so it'll like be mine,
Yeah.
but I want to knock down a couple walls and redo the floors and paint before I move in. So that's what I was trying to like time it. That's why I
Mhm.
asked to see if I could close early, because I want to be able to like have all those things done before April 1st, if that's our like last day, if we're paying for rent between then.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can get that all done in like those 15 days.
Yeah. Well, that works out well then, I guess. It's like a good way to look at it if it has to go till March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So those are
So
our
that's
life updates.
Zoe's
We're
life
gonna go
update.
see Dune 2 in theaters this week. So
Oh, I never saw the first one.
you have to watch it. It has Zendaya in it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, so also I meant to tell you, I think I actually might be in Arizona the first week of April.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you can
Because
see with me.
yeah, I know. In Phoenix, because my family's like gonna be there. So I was like, oh, I could like make it a trip then, because then we could like do some worky stuff, hang out. I could help
Yeah.
with like your
Set up a
initial,
podcast.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I know.
Perfect.
Patty texted me and I was like, oh my God, that would actually work out perfectly. Because I kind of wanted to be like, I kind of wanted to go into Arizona when you first moved in anyway, just to like help you if you had anything you needed help with. But
Oh,
So now it's like killing two birds with one stone. I'll see my family and can help.
yay. And
Yeah.
it's like warm enough. We'll be able to like, swim in the pool if we want.
I was gonna say we could go in your pool. Zoe
Yeah.
has a pool.
I'm so
Zoe's
excited.
got a backyard for Zally Monster, right, Zally?
Show Zali, I miss her.
Zally.
Zali. Hi. Zali is featured on the podcast.
Oh, she doesn't have her collar on because she got another bath.
Oh, Zal. Look at you. Hey.
He peed a little in her crate.
Oh my gosh, what a bad dog.
She just wanted my attention.
Of course.
It's funny though, because it was a time where I was only gone for a legit 15 minutes. It's like, you just like, but I kind of like giving her showers.
She looks so ugly when she's wet. She looks like a little rat.
Be nice. Like, she misses you and you're like, she looks ugly.
Sorry, Sally. What do we want to talk about on the agenda first?
Okay. Oh, I have on here that we have a lot of inevitable hires going on. We kind of talked about that last week, but things are rolling. We got, we want to talk about, I guess we could go into this. Well, our general theme of this episode is cross-functional customer experience, which Zoe will lead the train on that one. But before we get into that, we wanted to talk about the message from the guy about you starting your own business.
Oh my gosh. This was crazy. We'll link the tweet of me like exposing him because it got a lot of love and like traction.
It got so much attention. I noticed that.
Yeah. If you're listening to this in the future, it's 2024 and women like aren't treated like this, I don't think. Well, in the US. But the message on Twitter literally said, "Fuck you. What is a female doing to starting a business?" Right? Something like that.
Wild.
And I just like opened it. I was like,
no, something about the fuck you at the beginning. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Absurd. And so it was just like so funny so I exposed him. And the crazy thing is, Twitter, like D2C Twitter, I always talk about it, like changed my career.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of people on there, a lot of good advice. Like most of it's positive as long as you make it positive, and you don't like follow the drama and stuff. But a lot of people, there was like 8 people in my network who follow this guy.
No, so when you sent the message, I was like, because we've got actually a troll on Twitter for the podcast, but then I like looked at his Twitter and he followed like 10,000 people and literally his bio was like, "My Twitter is made to troll people. You all get so pissed." It was like literally a troll account. Yeah. And then I look at the guy that said this to you and he's like in the fucking space.
Yeah. He had people, mutual connections. And then he also, his bio was like, "Connect with me to gain 10 to 30K a month on TikTok organically." And like his Twitter was like him showing his results, but he's out here messaging me like, "Fuck you for being a female starting a business."
Yeah. And actually so then we did the Kim Kardashian like meme. And that was funny because I've been trying to like figure out the niche on like Instagram that like is, because I want like just as much attention on our meme posts that we get like on a reel. Like, you know, sometimes you like post a meme and it's like, it gets like half the likes a reel gets. And that meme got like more likes than some of our reels have gotten.
Because it's iconic. And I love to do iconic shit.
Let's go. Jackie's killing it on socials.
I've been trying. Oh, I don't know if you saw, but on YouTube Shorts, the meme that had the girl from Love is Blind in it, that one got like, it's almost at like 3,000 views.
Wait, can you explain which one is that?
Of course, I forgot that I need to do this.
When you see and realize what you missed out on, you are going to choke.
We posted one that was, so it was like a play on it was like my version of this week's, last week's episode without context. Instead of like doing pictures, I did like a meme.
Yeah.
And the meme was like the girl from Love is Blind, because that's like a really popular meme going around right now where she's like, when you see what you missed out on, you are going to choke. And it was like us in 2024 and it's like talking about missing The Office, and then The Office in 2020 is like when you guys all fled.
I didn't realize that girl was from Love is Blind.
Yeah, she's like the star of this season.
Mm.
But yeah, we almost have 3,000 views on that.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Jack, you're killing it.
Thanks. I followed I can't lie. I followed a like a TikTok account that posts like good, it just kind of like keeps you up to date on like what memes are like doing really well right now. So I still make the idea myself, but it just keeps me like up to date.
Yeah. And that's what like or social media is all about. It's like sometimes you have the idea and it hits and other people like take it, but a lot of times it's just like trends.
Yeah. No, yeah, I never realized sort of like even just on TikTok, there's so many people, which I mean, I guess that's literally how like kind of like agencies are born. Like, but I didn't even realize like how many TikTok accounts there are that like their account is used to show people how to grow their accounts.
Yeah.
Like, I've been following so many of them now because it's just like, just even like little tips, like even like fucking titles on every video. Like I've been doing that lately and I've grown the views on videos like so much. And it's like, what a small little thing
that you didn't think about or like didn't think it was important.
Yeah, because when people are like scrolling through like their explore page reels, like they don't know our account. The only thing that's going to stop them is the title.
Yeah. I think Jackie's well on her way of making like a branch of Inevitable for podcasting, like how to podcast and how to do social media, because we get approached for Jackie like, I don't know, once a month for either tips or tricks or asking her to do work for their podcast because she sees it from this podcast. And I sent you one today where it was like, someone was looking for like a full podcast agency that does like exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
they're so good at it and so good at like teaching people about it. So
yeah,
it'd be a future Inevitable thing.
I know, we really should like even maybe I should work on like just getting that even on the website just to like have it there if traffic brings it. But yeah, I just like am like we're so excited about Inevitable right now. Like so many things are happening. It's so exciting.
It's so exciting. I thought it made me so, it was interesting because Jackie was like super sick. So she kind of took some time off of like the full-time job, but like she was like super sick, like happily working on Inevitable stuff in bed sick. And you're like, that's just like what I want to do when I'm sick.
I know. I was sick last week and I feel like last week I made so much. I did like so much for the podcast and Inevitable last week. And it was because I wasn't like doing the full time job because I didn't feel well, but it just like showed like how much more I just enjoy doing this stuff. Like it just is like so much more, I don't know. And it's like a challenge because it's stuff I don't know. Like I know the law firm stuff so well now. Like it's scary to do something you don't really know how to do, but it's also like just so much, I don't know. I like learning better.
Speaking of that, I want to read this out loud because this like legitimately made me cry. It was a message from, I won't say who, and there's like enough people that you can't just like guess who, so I'm not like exposing anyone, but try to guess who this is. She said, this was in our Inevitable group chat for the agency, and it said, not to sound corny and all pathetic, but I legitimately felt lost before IA. No friends and no purpose outside of being a mom. Everyone took everything I did for granted. I'm happier than I've ever been in a long time, and it's all thanks to you, ladies.
Like, so sweet. I literally was like not okay. And right before she said that, I had said like something sassy. Like, I don't know how to take anything seriously. Like I was like, is anybody going to answer me? Or so I said something like that. And then she sent that and I was like, okay, and now I'm not okay.
Yeah, it makes me so happy and just to provide that. And I feel like we talk about this all the time, but I just like can't fucking stop talking about it. It just makes me so happy.
No, yeah, I love, like, I feel like every episode we kind of like intro in by talking about Inevitable, and I don't ever want to stop. So
never.
It's like such a good topic.
So good. Yeah, it's the best. Also, just to plug my mentor pass, because I was going through screenshots of just like happiness. I got a message from someone who actually was in the space, and I never really like market myself this way because I always want to be there for like friends and whatever people in the space trying to grow. But I've never thought of myself as like that mentor for like that part. More of thought of myself for like the work for like customer experience, retention, all of that for like my mentor pass. But I have someone who came to me, I don't know if it was like, it must have been like 6 to 8 months ago. And he was just asking like how he could better like put himself out there in the space to just share his knowledge. And so I told him all these things or whatever. And like we got on one call and I didn't really think much of it. He was just like asked me to like hop on a call. But he texted me and he said, I'm thankful to have people like you look up and guide me. Your simple advice on a 30-minute one-on-one literally changed my life. And yeah, that made me die too. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. I already started it and it'll definitely be live by the time this episode goes live, but we're going to have a Mentor Pass tab on the Inevitable website now because it just is like Zoe's just getting so much good feedback from Mentor Pass. We kind of want like a landing page for it. And I might even try and do, I don't know, I'll keep my ideas to myself, but I have a side idea with that. But yeah, so look out for that. We also, I don't know if we talked about this on here, but Let's Laugh About It has a tab on the Inevitable page.
Yeah.
So everybody head over there. Oh, I was going to tell you this. I started building a Like to Know It.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So hopefully that's live by Thursday. That's my goal because I want to be able to like use it for linking.
Yeah, because people ask us for even like the equipment for the podcast and stuff.
Yeah. So we'll have like a hub for all of that now. And I'm going to even try and be like fancy with it. Like if I can link like these are from Amazon.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Anybody want them? Because actually our new hires, they have a podcast, ADHD, just
ADHD girlies.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but it felt weird saying the just in front of it. But they have a Like to Know It, and they even link like what they're wearing in an episode, and I just thought that was a good idea.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Actually, Jackie, let's talk about it now because we could probably talk to them about it before this goes live.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to, and hopefully they say yes because it'll be hella embarrassing if we publish this and they say no.
Yeah.
But so this podcast, Let's Laugh About It, is in an Inevitable production because it's like funded by the agency for like little things to just keep the podcast going.
Yeah.
And we're going to invite their podcast because now they both work at Inevitable, and they told us that like Let's Laugh About It inspired them to start their podcast and like all these things. So we're going to figure out like how to make it make sense. But like even Jackie, they've been coming to Jackie for advice on like editing and stuff. So we're going to invite them to be like an Inevitable part of the Inevitable production. And so hopefully we'll be starting to expand our podcast network.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. I think they'll say yes. Like, so I think so. Not be in, if this is in the episode, they said yes. Because I'm not putting this in if they say no.
How embarrassing would that be?
But yeah, that'll be like so cute and fun. And I mean, I feel like we're already like treating it that way anyway. Like we're all sharing each other's stuff and like, I help with, because Caroline came to me in the way that she was editing, like was definitely taking her like triple the time that it needed to. And I was like, do it on your phone. Use CapCut on your phone. If anybody's listening to this, use CapCut on your phone. Yeah.
Also, we have a small Instagram for Inevitable that we kind of just like post whenever. And so it'll be fun to be able to like share other podcast stuff, like their podcast on there if they're interested in that. And just like have more content for like Inevitable in general.
Yeah, because I do some posts on there, but they're always shared like with the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be nice to have like a mix of something else in there. Can I like stop flapping my hand around everywhere? But yeah. So that is, do you hear that?
No.
I think they're little kids. It sounded like a duck like cracking. I was like, what? Oh, Zoe, I meant to tell you, so we have this neighbor who, I don't even care, we're about to move out of here. We have this neighbor who lives on top of us. What's the word I want to use? On top of us? Above us. We have a neighbor that lives above us, and he has this like huge dog who like howls. It's been really bad this week. And I was walking with Zolly, and he like...
His name is Luna. I met it the other day. –
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was he nice to you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't have a positive story. I walked past him and maybe I was overthinking, but I thought he was giving Zolly the side eye. And I
Oh,
don't know what it is, but when I feel like people are
you were
giving
the dog.
him, but whenever I feel like people are giving Zolly the side eye, I'm like, do you need something? And I literally looked at him like this, Zoe. I went like this. Because he was like looking at us like he had a problem. And I was like, you're a fucking giant dog. The HOA only allows 30-pound dogs. Why is your fucking
Yeah,
giant
that dog's like 50 pounds.
60?
60. Yeah, it's a big dog and it's a puppy.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my last preference.
Dang, Jackie gets so. There was one time someone like Jackie was walking Sally and they were like, "Oh, is that dog that barks all the time?" And Jackie was like, "Fuck you."
No, I literally was so mad. I was like, no, it's not, because she only barks when we leave the house, and both of us are like rarely gone. And
Yeah.
she was like, I can't even remember what it was, but I remember being like, oh, and then I remember when I walked away, I was like, and you have a great fucking day. Because it was like 7 a.m. She was already like mad at the world.
It was hella rude.
It was hella rude.
But
But let's dive into the theme, shall we?
oh, okay, yeah. So I actually wanted to talk about this last week, but we just were chatting away.
Which we're doing again.
I wanted to talk about like cross communication between everything and customer experience and how it is just so important. Um, at my job right now, I've been diving into just what's going on in customer support, the customers reaching out, and I've been able to solve so many little issues by just being like, oh, like a lot of times the support staff or the customer experience staff doesn't have like cross-functional training, which is why it's so important to make sure everyone's talking, because they're just answering tickets and like doing things as they're told to and like how they've been trained or whatever. But sometimes, for example, we were sending out this email that said it was an automated email for when we had an incorrect address. And we had this automation that was set up to fire, like if we got a fulfillment like error, it would fire and like send someone an email. But then to say like, can you verify your address? But it kept firing even after. So sometimes the fulfillments could say like, let's say someone wrote like so-and-so Avenue, but they spell Avenue AV instead of AVE.
Yeah.
That might fire as like an error in fulfillment, but they can easily look at the address and be like, oh, this is supposed to be AVE, fix it, send it out.
Yeah.
So our first, there was a couple problems here. First, it was firing on like all of those little things when it really should have only fired when we needed to ask the customer to actually update their address, like if it was actually incorrect. So that was like one part of it. We were sending out like depending on like the day, anywhere between 50 to 100 extra emails a day.
Oh my God.
And then not only that, it would remind them, it would send out emails even after it was fulfilled, telling the customers to update their address over and over again. And so the customers would be like, what do you mean it's already fulfilled? And like, it's on the way. Or like they'd get confused and be like, if you can't get my address right, just cancel my order, give me a refund, like and all these things. And I talked to the agents about it, and they just kind of were like, well, we weren't sure, or like we were unsure of like how those systems work. And it felt like it was such a good example of operations on the side of like, okay, this is getting sent out because we're having an operations logistics issue. But then like on the marketing side of like how our emails are working, and because that's on the marketing side is like firing up the emails. And without that like cross communication of like, this seems a little bit weird, or like empowering your team to speak up when they're like, oh, this customer keeps getting this email, but it doesn't seem like they should, or like what's going on here. If we don't have that communication, it just goes on forever until like someone else, I don't know, stumbles upon it like I did.
Yeah, I was going to say like cross training and like the cross functional thing is so important, because it's so crazy. Even like when I was managing Docket before, like how many things you realize get missed when people don't understand the functions of other people's jobs.
Yep.
Like, and then once you have people on the same page, it's crazy how things just fix themselves.
Yep. Yeah. And that was one of my favorite things. And I believe I've talked about this on the podcast before, but having just taking a little extra time of having people train on customer experience or customer support, even if they have nothing to do, their function might not have anything to do with it, because
Yeah.
you'll realize that if you get other people looking at these things, you could realize, like, you end up realizing that sometimes your function is the source of like a customer issue,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're doing you might put an initiative out there or send out an email or have like all these good intentions for something you're doing, but then you're not going back and like asking the customer experience team or customer support team or even telling them that that's happening, and then you don't know that you're causing all these issues.
Yeah, that actually, I just had not like a bad thing happen at work, but um when I set up people, the program we use, when I set up profiles for them, I kind of like choose all the settings, and I just like on my own was like, oh, I should trigger this like to do, because I actually think it'll be like really helpful for people. So I've done it for the past like 5 attorneys we've hired. And I was in a meeting today, and one of them literally in the meeting goes, I have this super annoying to do pop up. I don't need it. I've talked to other attorneys that have been here longer and they don't have it. Do you guys know how we get rid of it? And then the other new attorneys were like, I have that too. It's so annoying. I literally was so embarrassed. I like cut them off and I was like, guys, so sorry. Totally on me. I should have like asked somebody if you guys even needed that. I just thought it might be easier. I set it up for myself, so I thought everybody would want it. I'm gonna go into your, can you guys all sign out so I can like remove it from your like programs? But like such an example of like why communicating is important. You might think something's helping people, but it's like making their day harder. Or you
Yeah.
might think you're making somebody's day harder if you add something, but it could actually help them if you communicate what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Communication is so important, and it's so hard to do.
Yeah, it's scary sometimes.
Yeah.
It's scary when you like know in your gut you should communicate something, but I mean, like I'm over this now. This is more, I feel like this is more when you're like new to something. But I just remember when I first started working like out of college, like I would get so scared to bring stuff up because I would be like, I'm sure I should have been doing this for like months. And like, so I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to find out that I've been doing this wrong for months. And it's like, you don't know what you don't know. Like no one's actually going to get like that pissed at you if like you genuinely, people know when you're like bullshitting them and when you're being serious. Like people know when you're really coming to them and you had no clue and you just are trying to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I used to be scared of this because one time early in my career for these things, I've always been someone who's just kind of curious of like, why do we get this message, or like, is there a way to fix this? I've just like always kind of had that like critical thinking or just like questioning brain. And one time someone straight up told me, it was like, and it really hurt me. They said to stay in my lane. They're like, yeah. And it really
You say
hurt.
where?
What?
You
No,
say where?
I
Oh.
can't. I can't say where. But they told me to stay in my lane, and I was like, that hurts so bad because I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
And it made me so scared to speak up. And it took me a while to be like, oh no, like me not staying in my lane has shaped my career, because it's been shown to be a positive influence on the companies, instead of just like putting band-aids on everything or just like fixing things just because you're not sure the purpose, or like you don't understand how things work.
Yeah.
And it took me like a while to get over that, but it is scary to speak up.
Yeah. I think people only say stuff like that when they're like insecure about their own role. Cause I don't know. I couldn't imagine ever in a world like me saying that to somebody like ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like a wild thing to say. I mean, I've been in situations where somebody's like tried to like do a job that's just, it's more so I'm like, that's a waste of your time. That's a good idea, but like, let's like delegate that to somebody else. But like, not like stay in your lane, don't even bring it up. Like, that's a crazy thing to say.
It hurts so bad, but it is like, I just think everyone should speak up and ask questions, because that's how we learn, and that's how you really like improve things, because you don't have to just accept things for what they are, and that's how you change and like better things if you're being proactive about like helping. So
Yeah. I have a question on this topic. Zoe, I'm interviewing you. What would you say is your most memorable, like successful time in your career from a time when you did speak up cross-functionally? Like when you noticed something that wasn't really in your lane, wasn't working well, and you were like, I'm going to bring this up.
Another example where I can't say where,
Hmm.
but I noticed a customer complaint that was weird and something that you couldn't it was like a repetitive comment that I hadn't ever seen before. And it was something where you, at first, like the first two customers, you're like, maybe you're like full of shit, you know? And
Yeah.
then you keep hearing it. And like I brought it up to our product team. And at first I was like, I can't explain this, but this is like what's going on and this is what people are saying. And here's all the data. That's like the biggest thing, is like being able to like say, this is how many people said this. This is where they bought it. These are the like the information about the products.
Yeah.
Can you look into it? And it turned out that it was an issue, and we were able to like put a stop to that issue. And it just happened to be like a manufacturer, something happened in the manufacturer, and the customers reported it. And it's something that should like never happen, you know? And you wouldn't predict that it would happen. And you also trust your manufacturers to like not make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really big like find, and I could have just been like, oh, that's weird. Customers keep reporting that. Oh, that's weird, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
like ignore it. And a lot of that happens like behind the scenes. It's because there's so many things going on, like you're not paying attention. You're like, whatever, that must be a one-off. But it can prevent really, really catastrophic problems in businesses if you're just like keeping an eye on things like that.
There was this one time, well, not one time, it literally happened like 2 weeks ago, but so like at the firm, basically this one document has been being saved incorrectly for like 2 years. And
2 years.
yeah, and there's probably 20 of them saved a day. And it's really important that things are saved correctly because like law firms get audited a lot, like clients switch around, like things need to be up to date. And I couldn't tell if this person was trying to be like a savior or something, but she said in front of everybody, I noticed that months ago. I just like figured that he had it figured out or like under control or something. And I didn't want to like make it a big deal in the meeting. I just kind of like let her say it. I mean, I said, okay, well, when we notice something doesn't look right, we need to say something because now like, you know, maybe it could have been like an only year-long problem. Now it's a 2-year-long problem, which means it's going to take us X amount of time. It could have taken us X amount of time to fix it. And then when we got off the call, I messaged her and I was like, obviously super nice, but I was just like, that's like such an example of like something you should bring up because if you saw him doing it so repetitively, like there was no reason to assume that he knew that he was doing it wrong. So we need to just kind of like assume that people don't know that that's what they're doing is being done wrong if we know it's being done wrong when we see it. Yeah, that was like a huge thing that reminded me of.
Yeah, and I feel like it's really common no matter where you work because people don't want to be like know-it-alls, or like they're like, oh, I'm sure they're doing that for a reason. And it's scary, but going back to it's scary to speak up and ask those questions, or just like maybe there is like not saying that what this girl did, but there might be like a level of like, do people care enough kind of thing.
I find that maybe it's like, I think I also work with naturally competitive people because the legal world is just breeds people like that. But sometimes I fear, and I'm sure it's like this everywhere, that, and not saying that this is what this girl thought, but with previous people that I no longer work with, I have felt like this from people, that sometimes people will notice things are being done wrong and actually from like a sinister place, they don't bring it up.
Wow.
I've experienced that. Like I've been in conversations with people like in the workplace, again, not people I work with currently, but like at my old firm, where I've literally been like, in a convo with them and they've been like, yeah, I noticed so-and-so is doing this wrong, but I'm not saying anything. And I'm like,
Dang.
like, you just want to see them like fail? Like, I don't know. I do think that that's really common with people not pointing stuff out too. I think it's from like kind of a bad place sometimes, which is sad.
I can see how that could happen, but that is so sad.
And when will people learn that like other people failing is not going to make them succeed?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
many people think that's like the way to succeed, and it's just like so crazy because it's just not.
I think it's the same topic of gatekeeping information. So
Yeah.
that like if you're afraid some people are afraid they're going to lose their job if someone else knows how to do their job. But I can't remember. I think maybe there was a time period where I felt like that, but it's come from like an insecure place and it was like very early in my career.
Mhm.
But now I'm like, I want everyone to know everything so I can go on fucking vacation.
Yeah, literally, like, that is so true. Like, I feel like when I've talked about this in the podcast before, that when I first started working, I definitely had like a gatekeeping problem, but it stemmed from insecurity because I felt like I knew what I knew really well, and I almost didn't believe in myself to learn other things as well. Like, I would be like, I'm the docket freaking wizard. So I'm going to make sure that I just like know docket in and out, and I'm going to gatekeep it.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, like, I'm irreplaceable, whatever. And that didn't do anything for me. Acting like that didn't get me like noticed by my bosses more. It just screwed me over when COVID happened and we had to fire half of our staff. And I couldn't take a day off for like a year because my counterpart, I gatekeeped everything from her, and we were too overwhelmed with work because we had to let so many people go that I didn't have time to train her on it anymore. And then I screwed myself for like a year.
Damn. Yeah. It doesn't pay off. But sometimes you just have to learn that because nobody teaches you that. I feel like they I feel like we're kind of, it depends on like what, I don't know. It's such a good topic because growing up too, and it's like, even just like grades, it's like there's only one valedictorian or there's only like enough room, or like you're competing to be on like this team or this like academic thing. And it's like, if other people fail, you succeed. And it's like sad to see that.
There's been so many times, I like can't even think of an example, but just like so many times growing up that I would be like instead of being like, oh, I did this well on something, I'd be like, well, I definitely am not one of the worst because I heard so-and-so did this. So like, I'm not at the bottom. And it's like, why is that like, why does it matter? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's like something with our education system. We're not really taught to work as a team really well. I feel like we do, or like when we are working as a team, it's like class projects, but like everyone hates them.
And do you remember this about at least our school system? I'm sure other ones did this, but do you remember when we would do so it was like an oxymoron because they would be wanting to teach team building. So we would do a group project, but a lot of times it would be demoralizing if you weren't like a cool kid, because if you got to like choose your group, it was like demoralizing when like you were like, okay, I guess I'm in this group because we're like the 3 people in the class who didn't have friends.
Yeah.
It can be demoralizing if the teacher picks the groups and then you end up in a group with a bunch of friends. Or it could be, the other thing that's an oxymoron about it is a lot of the times when we do those group projects, at the end of the group project, you had to submit something basically rating your teammates.
Yeah.
So it was like this weird like oxymoron where it was like, you're having us work as a team, but I want to like make sure that like I'm kind of giving them a not glowing rating, because a few of my teachers would be like, whoever has the lowest rating like in the group, you're going to get like a worse grade than the rest of your group.
Yeah. Or they'd ask you to like call out the worst performer or whatever.
Yeah. So it was like, so you were like at odds with each other, even though you were supposed to be working as a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We were like always taught to be mean to each other.
It's so horrible, but it's so true.
Is horrible. It is honestly.
I want to talk about before we get, because I have a meeting right after this.
Always a
I don't want to forget. Yeah, I've been working a lot. I don't want to forget about that text I sent you yesterday. in Boss and Jackie. Boss
I'm
and
gonna know it the minute I see it. I'm just like being.
And I want to hear like what you think before I talk about it because
Though we must talk about this on the pod, LOL. Oh, that's from Friday. Wait, the text you sent me yesterday.
I think it was yesterday.
Oh, this one. Yeah, Zoe just texted me and goes, ZMAs and how I met. Sorry. ZMAs and how I wet the bed at like 20 years old. I responded, ... The zero context of that message is striking. And I just realized you never texted me back.
I know. I wanted to talk about it on the pod. Okay, so for the last like 3 nights, I just haven't been able to sleep. And usually I'm not someone who has a problem falling asleep or staying asleep or whatever. Like once I'm asleep, you know, and then I wake up and a lot of times I like don't want to wake up. Like I haven't struggled with these, but maybe because I've been like stressed and anxious about like random things, I have a lot going on. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not getting sick because Jackie, I keep thinking about how you couldn't sleep and then you got really sick. So hopefully I'm not getting sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Nice for you.
I used to take ZMAs, which is zinc magnesium aspartate, and it helps you.
You would have never known that that's what that meant.
It's a supplement that helps you stay in REM sleep. So I was like, oh, let me go get some because I don't know, I've been sleeping horribly. Let me take some ZMAs. And there's like this one that I really like from GNC, and it's just like a GNC brand ZMA, whatever. But it reminded me of this one time when I used to work at GNC, I would try like all the supplements of like that was like relevant to me so that I could have like personal recommendations or like know how I felt when I was taking them, like whatever. And one time I took this ZMA and it was actually, maybe I shouldn't say I won't say the brand, but it was a time released ZMA. So like it's time released like as you're sleeping, you know, so it's like a longer lasting one. And I made sure that I didn't take it on a day because I was like, oh, if it's time release, like maybe I'll like sleep through my alarm or be groggy or whatever. I didn't sleep in or like I didn't
You wet the bed?
I was having a dream that I was in a hot tub and I woke up and I was pissing the bed.
Oh, because it was warm.
I was in, yeah.
That's why you had a dream you were in a hot tub.
And I was like 20 years old. And I took the ZMA and I was in such a deep sleep. And I was like in this like dream and I was fucking pissing the bed. Because the ZMA was so strong that I was like in such a deep sleep that would happen to me.
So was a ZMA just like a hardcore sleeping pill?
No, it's zinc aspartate and magnesium aspartate, which are two like minerals that help. It's just a vitamin that like helps you go into REM sleep, but it doesn't make you like, some of them will have like a little bit of melatonin in it. Some they'll have like different like calming blends to like help you fall asleep and stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call it like a hardcore sleeping pill.
Mm-hmm.
But it
I don't
just
know why
is
I used the word hardcore. I think I meant to say glorified.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just think it's like more of like a homeopathic like solution to getting better sleep. If you're struggling, I would recommend them like if you do struggle with not falling asleep but staying asleep, because it helps you get into that REM cycle, and that's like when you're in your deepest sleep and stay in the REM cycle. So it is good for that. But yeah, I like was picking up the ZMAs and I was like, I need to tell Jackie this story and I might as well tell it on the fucking podcast. I'm embarrassed.
No, yeah, that was so funny. And the just like zero context text. I'm like, what is she talking about? The time I took ZMAs and peed in my sleep.
At 20 years old.
At 20 years old, I was like, what?
When was the last time you wet the bed, Jackie?
I didn't wet the bed. I wet the side of the bed.
What?
And I was 27. Oh, were you making fun of how I
I forgot that you actually did that.
Yeah, in the middle of the night in my sleep. I was a little intoxicated, but okay, I mean, there was no witnesses, but apparently everybody's claiming it must have been me. Apparently, like, stepped out of my bed and peed. I don't know. I'm not even embarrassed because, like, everybody listening to this has an embarrassing pee story that, like, they don't want to tell anybody, so.
I feel like guys have really funny ones drunk. Like I've heard of people like peeing in like drawers and shit.
I know, me too. Why do guys do that all the time? I've heard that story from like multiple men.
Yeah. Comment down below your funniest wet the bed story or pee in random places.
Please, we're begging to hear it. I feel like it's like something else I wanted to bring up that like I thought of right before we started recording, but maybe not. Oh, me and Zoe are gonna bring. We've kind of like had this and then like got off of it, but we're gonna keep it permanent. It's how we're gonna wrap up every episode because we like sharing our favorite things. People like hearing recommendations. We're gonna have a like to know it now so we can link whatever we talk about. But we're gonna do like favorite like brand or not even favorite, but just like brand product of the week. It could be something that you don't even own. It's just maybe you're like seeing it a lot. Like mine this week, I do not own, but I will be purchasing it the next time I'm at Target. But yeah, we're gonna make that a permanent way to end the episodes.
I love it. If we remember, we'll do it. But we are going to because now Jackie has it in her agenda.
Yep, I've been doing really good about having these legit agendas. See, you can even see.
Look at that agenda. It's relieves so much stress for me too because these recording days come around before we know it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I've prepared. But can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, mine is actually an interesting reason why it's mine. Ruggable, same thing. I don't have any, but I think they do a really good job. And this is an interesting topic too, but I've been looking at Pinterest a lot because I'm trying to figure out what I want the house to look like. Mm-hmm. And Ruggable keeps tricking me because I go to pin a picture that I like the room, and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. And I click on it and it's a Ruggable ad. And so they do such a good job at like fitting it into the Pinterest feed that I don't even know it's an ad.
Yeah.
I mean, the rug is cute. Mm-hmm. And so it is getting me it is reminding me that Ruggable is a thing. And then I'm also looking at the picture and being like, I want this furniture in my house too.
Do you know the cool thing about Ruggable?
You could wash them?
They're machine washable.
Yeah.
That is really, oh, excuse me.
Which I need because Zolly's like such a little dirty rat.
Or my sister might puke.
Oh yeah.
You never know. No, but that is like such a cool thing about Ruggable because rugs do, especially if it's like a walkway rug or something, like rugs get really dirty.
Yeah, I don't really understand how with the big ones, like you can't put those in a machine, but maybe they're
so I actually do you know who Clara Pars is? Clark. Mm-hmm. You must have come across her once because you follow her on your personal TikTok.
Oh.
But I'm a big fan of her, and she is like a huge advocate for Ruggables, and she has a big one, and she had that same issue. Like, what do I do with the big one? She just like when she wants to wash that one, she'll go to like an industrial, like public laundromat, and then she can throw it in like the industrial size washing machine.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're only washing it like, once a year or something, unless something happens. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yep, that's my brand of the week, Ruggable. Good job.
Good job. Who? Ruggable or me?
Ruggable. Oh. Sorry, you too, Jack.
I was like, what? My brand of the week is not that they need like more exposure because it's a Kardashian brand, but Lemme, Lemme. It's Kourtney Kardashian's brand, and she has like a bunch of vitamins. But the reason that it's actually enticing me, like any of the other Kardashians could have came out with a vitamin brand, I would have literally never given it the time of day. But the reason why I actually believe it is because Kourtney Kardashian is like known in the Kardashian world as being the one who's like super, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, like kind of like homeopathic, like with her medicine and stuff. She would always she has like the least amount of like plastic surgery done. She like always, not that that matters, but she always like would get like hate from her sisters for like wanting to do the natural version of things and stuff. So when she came out with these vitamins, it actually like really seemed like the natural business for her to like be a part of. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing just like really good reviews. I'm actually seeing like a lot of people, like people that I've been following for a while and like genuinely trust, post like this is not even an ad, which they can't legally say. So when they say that, that means it's actually not. But like this is not even an ad. Like these are just, I've never had vitamins like actually like I've never seen like a result from a vitamin before. And these I do. she has like everything. So I'm going to dabble, and I'm just seeing it everywhere. And I like her branding. It's like my favorite brand, and I don't even have anything.
Where can you, is it only online or does she have it in stores?
He has it online, which is probably actually where I'll order it from, because you get like the 15% off if you do it the first time, and they have a subscribe and save thing. It's funny actually, now when I'm like on D2C websites, I'm always like looking now because of Inevitable, like the way they have things set up, and like scroll to the bottom to see like what they have down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they also sell it at like Target and stuff, but it makes more sense too. I'm tempted to do subscribe and save because I feel that confident I'll like it, but maybe I should buy a round of it first and then find out.
Speaking of subscribe and save, that's actually one of the things I want to change on Audien's website, because they have to change out the wax guards in the ear in the hearing aids, and ours says like subscribe and save for wax guards, but I don't think it's intuitive that like it means auto delivery for like the elderly people.
I wouldn't think so either. I don't like, I'm thinking of like my Nana, and like I don't think she would get that.
Yeah, like what does subscribe and save mean? Like subscribe. Yeah. And I heard, actually, I think it was from Obvi. They changed the wording from, because I think subscribe and save actually is more like a tech, it came from like the tech world. Like this is like a good way to say it. But like auto delivery makes more sense in a consumer's mind, I think.
That's how Amazon words it.
Yeah. Auto delivery, right?
Yeah, they say auto delivery. The reason I like know that is because my sister is on my Amazon and she auto delivers like everything. I need to start doing that because you save money. And there's some things that I buy every single month. I don't know why I don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it always says, whenever I see the notification, it always says auto, like your auto delivery has shipped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's just a better way to word it, even to like young people.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Events coming up. This will be, so tomorrow, when this comes out, tomorrow I'll be on the Women in CX panel for Gorgeous. So we'll link that in the show notes. Would love if you guys came and supported it. It's going to be a really great group of girls, leaders in CX. I'll be talking a little bit about like how the agency was founded, and then also some things about like the biggest change or biggest career things. So some kind of like what we talked about today, but expand more on that. And there's also, I think there's 5 other girls on the panel, and they're just like really great people in the space. So definitely I'm excited to like learn from them too. So sign up for that.
I'm excited to watch.
Yeah. And I'm excited. The group chat for Inevitable has gotten so big, and just like everyone's like such a hype queen for like each other, and I love seeing it. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then are there any other events going on? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, there are. I can't think of them off the top of my head either, but they're in our show notes.
They'll be in our show notes. There is a Gorgeous event for Gorgeous users in June. So stay tuned for that, because I think that's going to be like such a powerful event. Usually it's more focused around kind of like marketing, but I think they're trying to make this one more experience, like just customer experience and like Gorgeous user focused.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that, because I think it's something that's needed, and I love that they're like supporting their users and stuff. So that's in June. So stay tuned.
That'll be cool. That's in person?
Yeah, I think it's in LA.
Yeah.
We'll have more information, but I'm pretty sure in person in LA.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you guys so much for all the reviews. I think we're almost at 50, right?
We are, yeah. We have a few more followers that I can shoot our DM off to. But yeah, we have officially, if you follow the podcast, you got a message, because I've officially messaged every single person that follows us, and also we got a lot of the YouTube subscribers too. So yeah, like if you haven't yet, because we don't have as many reviews as we have followers, so some people didn't listen to my request, but yeah, it like makes us feel so good to like see the number go up. Like all week when I was sending those, I literally was like checking that number like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 48 right now. So we only need 2 more to be at 50. So thank you guys for following Jackie's instructions and reviewing the pod. It means the world.
Mm-hmm. And I also noticed that some went up because I have, to some people, I sent that DM like months and months and months ago. And so like I kind of like resent it in like a different way when I saw them like, you know, like engaging with the podcast.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna keep like doing stuff like that. Obviously, like that's personalized, but if anybody's starting a podcast,
See, Jackie knows
Yep.
all the tips.
yeah. But Zoe has a meeting in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I
So I'm gonna
do.
let her go because I have a tendency to
Bye,
ramble.
guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Aw.
Catch
Mine
you
do it
next-
too.
Catch you next week.
I won't mind do it. Okay.
It's because you're not
Bye,
patient
Tina.
enough.
Oh hell yeah.
Bye, Jack.